welcome to RegenMed, our first episode.
I'm really excited.
Me too. I think this is going to be great, honestly, for everybody. We're very excited to bring this. So I'm Dr. Abraham. I'm your co-host here. I work at Valencia Medical Center, Ageless Life Institute, and we do a lot of exciting and nice things over here in terms of regenerative, aesthetic, anti-aging medicine, and it's such an amazing topic. A lot of people are always asking questions and bringing up things that can be very, very interesting, and it can help us optimize our lives and
Live our best ageless life.
here we go.
My name's Lindsay. I'm his co-host, and I'm obsessed with all things regenerative medicine, cosmetic. I'm a licensed esthetician, but he's the doctor, so he knows his stuff. So I guess people want to know about you and like what your background is and why you're passionate about regenerative medicine specifically, or are you passionate about it?
I am, I am passionate about it. No, I love this field, obviously. I think it's like the future of medicine. I think it's just getting better and better and more advanced, and we have like more tools every single day. And to me, medicine is much more about, nowadays, it's much more about optimizing our health. Like, I feel like just like anything, medicine, prehistorically, medicine didn't exist. And then there was kind of, we were in the beginner stages, and then medicine kind of morphed into that thing where we're treating diseases and, solving problems and issues as they arise in our health. And I feel like now we're getting into a new stage of medicine where it's not just about resolving problems and issues once they arise, but it's actually how do we take our health to the next level, even if we are quote unquote healthy because we're disease free. Does that mean we are actually like just optimizing our health, or are we falling short on our lives, on our goals, on everything, just because we are living a suboptimal life with suboptimal health?
So for you, you're passionate about regenerative medicine because you believe that the advancement that we have in technology and what we're able to do with our own, blood and whatnot is going to be the future of, restoring our bodies, essentially.
It's just a very exciting field. It's very exciting, the things that we can do, and yes, like we can do amazing things. So yeah, that's definitely part of it. But yeah, I think it's very exciting, and we see that like every day, right here at the clients. We see clients coming in and giving us these amazing testimonials that make us feel better every day about what we do, right? Clients like, oh, I feel so much better, I feel 10 years younger, I feel 20 years younger.
Oh, yeah.
I feel so much healthier. So that kind of it gets the juice going when you hear this kind of feedback again and again. You're like, I like this.
It's working. Yeah, I think like the biggest thing that I hear patients say is like, I heard like this through a friend and I'm not really familiar with it, but I know that they, are having these type of results, and why doesn't everybody know about this stuff? And like, why is it kind of kept under, I don't know. It's not really so widely known unless you're like following specific doctors and like watching these YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Why is it not so well known, you think?
I think it's a couple different reasons, and I think right now, part of what we're doing with that podcast is we're bringing more attention to it, and we're definitely like not the only ones. So I do feel that people are starting to become more and more aware of this field in general, and more aware of different. It's a big field, right? So some people are aware of certain aspects of it, and there are things that are newer that people are finding out more and more about. But I think it kind of goes back to what we've mentioned a little earlier about this being just a new field of medicine. It's not the traditional way that people often think of medicine, and a lot, again, it's not like my sugar is really high, so let's get that back under control with medication, which is a great thing about medicine. Not we're not talking bad about traditional medicine. It's just a slightly different thing, right? So it's not necessarily the same way, the old way, the traditional way that people think of medicine. But on on the other hand, it's rare that you've mentioned, like, a lot of people hear about it from their friends and stuff. We don't see people who come in and find out more about it, and then they're like, oh, well, I'm not interested in that, right? It's always like, oh wow, this is amazing, like, how can I know more about it, how can I do more about it, right? It's not like, oh yeah, it's not interesting. We never get
Well,
that.
I feel like more often than not, when they're given an option, do you want to do like the traditional way where everyone else is doing? We also have this option, which is it's a regenerative option. Every single time they're like, I'm going to do the regenerative option. That sounds more appealing to me. And I think it's just people are more interested in their overall health and wanting to rejuvenate it rather than mask the problem or temporarily correct the problem. They're really looking for something more like long term, and utilizing their own body, I guess, to
For
do
sure.
that.
I mean, that's definitely one of the ways, and there are many different ways. Again, it's a big field, but a lot of times people come in because they've tried traditional medicine, and or again, like, nothing bad with the traditional way we do medicine. We still do that a lot when it's the right client, but it's just a different option. So a lot of time when it's a problem that they don't find the solution in traditional medicine, it is it's a time where you start looking somewhere else, and this field definitely has a lot of promises. So some answers definitely are still kind of in the traditional medicine realm of things, but there are definitely answers that we're learning more about that are very exciting, that make me very excited about that field, that do fall kind of in the regenerative and anti-aging field. And this is what this podcast is all about.
Yeah. Like educating everyone on this completely, sometimes people know nothing about it. They're completely clueless. They're like, what is that? What does that mean? Can you explain that to me? And once you explain it to them, they're like, why would you treat this specific problem any other way? And I'm like, well, you can there's multiple options, but some people prefer this and some people prefer that. But another question I have for you is, not that you can predict the future, but with your education and your background and what you know about all of this stuff, what do you see for like the future of, like, because people are moving away from like your traditional fillers and they're starting to work with like biofiller and stuff like that. Like, what do you see as a future in like the cosmetic world of regenerative?
Sure, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, in the cosmetic realm, I definitely see things like what you've mentioned, biofiller, and there's a couple different companies and a couple different options there that are becoming more popular now. I do see that being the direction, and the difference is, and there might always be a place for filler and other stuff, but in some ways with regenerative medicine, you're reversing at least certain aspect of aging as opposed to just kind of hiding it, right? So it's some of the same concepts that don't just apply only to cosmetics, but cosmetics is a good place to discuss it because we can provide some more concrete examples. So even though the concept is going to apply beyond that, but like, say, with the thinning of the skin, the loss of collagen, sometimes fillers can help hide that by adding volume where there's loss of volume, but you're adding an external product that's going to break down, and you're not really doing anything to your actual own collagen, your own skin. But with some of the other products, you're getting the same results or even better, but you're doing it by building your own tissue. So you end up getting longer results, in many cases healthier, healthier results that are better for you and for your own skin. And again, that's just one example, but I definitely see things moving more and more into in this direction. Yeah, I mean, to me, it's just, if there's a problem and you can address it at the root of the problem, then that's the next step. And we didn't have these tools initially, so sometimes all you can do is apply a band-aid because that's all you have.
Right.
And that's where a lot of traditional medicine and aesthetic and otherwise has been. And a lot of times we still have to use these band-aids because they are the best options that we have. But now we are trying to we are finding slowly but surely more and more solutions, so that we don't have to only use a band-aid.
Right. Well, to kind of wrap things up, I do want to mention that we were both at the aesthetic show in Las Vegas, which is where all of the, nation's doctors, nurse practitioners, and anyone that works in, cosmetic, surgery and all types of things. You're on a panel with your peers of accredited doctors talking about stacking treatments. And one of the most popular things I think that every single person hit was incorporating like polylactic acid with PRP. And then, no one really knew anything about biofiller. I think Dr. Rajani kind of introduced that to a lot of people. But that was like a great introduction to see what is actually up and coming in the world of regenerative medicine, and how this is literally very, some people don't even know anything about this really. They're just barely touching the surface, and you've already been there and done that. So
yeah. No, I think that could be a great topic on its own, like for a separate podcast. We can go into more details, but yeah, it was a great experience, being on that panel is a great panel, the one specifically you're talking about. And I love Dr. Rajani. He was one of the first people to bring biofillers into the market, many years ago. And now, yes, it's been gaining more and more popularity, which is a great thing, which is why a lot of people, so I've been to these kind of places before where we present, but I've never had where so many people were asking questions about it and were more and more familiar with it. And like you said, you're talking about people who actually do that stuff. They're the injectors, the physicians, the nurse practitioners who are providing these services to people. So I do see that people are finally starting to catch on more on these topics, and they're starting to incorporate them more and more, which I think is moving in the right direction. So
yeah,
awesome. Yeah, maybe we'll
touch more on that later. But it's just nice to see that this is the new wave of medicine and like how we're treating different things. And yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining us. I'm not sure how this is going to come out. It's our first one, so hopefully it comes out good.
Yeah, so this is a little introduction to regenerative medicine and to Doctor and myself, and we look forward to seeing you guys on the next episode.
Take care. Bye.